Hey, check this out. Jordan.
Awesome. Let me try. Kobe.
Check this one out, fellas. Kawhi. What it do, baby? What it do? Welcome on in to Call It a Night, the sports comedy show that likes to take things too far. I'm your host, Julie Stewart-Binks, and we're excited to be joined by Fox Sports, MLS, and Big Ten host and reporter, Jillian Sakovits. Thank you so much for joining us here on the program. Yes, woohoo. And we have a lot of things we want to talk to you about, including MLS Cup between Seattle and Toronto. And in one word or less, describe this matchup.
Surprising.
Oh, okay. What a tease. All right, we're going to jump into MLS Cup storylines and a whole lot more about what exciting projects Jillian has been working on with soccer players around the world. But first, let's dive into tonight's headlines. The Cleveland Browns waived safety Jermaine Whitehead after he sent death threats to multiple people on Twitter who criticized his performance. But anyone concerned about being harmed by Whitehead can keep him away by simply carrying a football. Ooh. The Browns lost to the Broncos Sunday, and judging by his look after the game, Baker Mayfield lost a custody battle. Mayfield pared down his Fu Manchu for the press conference, and like most of the audibles he's called this year, it was not received well by anyone in Cleveland. At least he did something with his facial hair, so it was like he did something. This weekend, we turned back the clocks 1 hour. Of course, the New York Jets wish they could turn them back to 1969.
Always.
The now 1-7 Miami Dolphins beat the 1-7 New York Jets and their former head coach, Adam Gase. And for those of you keeping score at home, this season, Gase is now responsible for 2 wins. Who said that he's not getting it done for the Dolphins? It's pretty embarrassing for New Yorkers that with 3 NFL teams, the best one is the Bills. Yeah. They're winning. Those guys are winning. On Sunday, they held the annual New York City Marathon. Every year, the marathon brings traffic to a standstill, which is the only time traffic in New York stops for a pedestrian. Our head writer, Dan, nearly got killed the other day. It's true. Colts quarterback Brian Hoyer was picked off by Pittsburgh safety Minka Fitzpatrick at the 4-yard line and run back 96 yards for a touchdown, the second longest in team history. In fact, it's the biggest Steelers return since Terry Bradshaw started acting. After manhandling the Pats, quarterback Lamar Jackson called Tom Brady the GOAT, likely meaning at Brady's age, he should be sent to the farm. The Nationals visited the White House Monday, and after an abysmal postseason, Kurt Suzuki finally got to second base. That's my favorite joke of the day. And that's it for tonight's headlines. Print it. We are just getting going on this beautiful little Tuesday. When we return, we dive into Jillian's work in soccer with Syrian refugees, as well as play an MLS Cup theme edition of Who You Got? That next.
Hi, I'm Tom Bergeron, and I had to call it a night.
Welcome back to Call It a Night. I'm JSB, and we've got sports reporter Jillian Sakovits joining me on the couch today. It's an exciting week for MLS Cup, but before we get into that, I want to talk about so many different projects that you've been doing, and one of them that really stands out is the Beyond the Stands digital features that you did with MLS that you went around the world for. Tell us, like, what stands out about this experience?
I think the first thing would be, we started it 3 years ago. I kind of came back to MLS and I was like, guys, this is unique because you've covered the NHL and big leagues, and you saw these players doing real grassroots projects, the supporters doing stuff together on a Wednesday night, like working at a soup kitchen, kind of like modern day church groups in a way. And they're like, yeah, everyone knows that. And you know, once you get outside the MLS bubble, you're like, well, actually, they don't. Yankee fans, they tailgate and that's it. But these fans were doing a lot together. Players were working on projects on their own. And I think the biggest thing that stood out is it was an idea to tell a story at first. And then it ended up being that we helped those supporter groups, help those players kind of bring their charity or whatever they're working on to the next level. Like, I was in a car driving through back roads of Ghana, and I turned to Jonathan Mensah from Columbus, and I said, so Jonathan, when this video drops, like, you got to give me a link, because when people see it, they're going to feel motivated to donate. And he's like, oh, I don't fundraise yet. And it was like, so we helped him set up the GoFundMe, which then went to the video. So I think that's kind of been the biggest thing that stood out to us that we didn't anticipate taking on off the bat.
Yeah,
and I've liked that part the most.
You also went to Syria, you went to Jordan, you presented at the Vatican. Where do you want to take this project?
So I think the next place I really want to take this project is, we've highlighted a little bit of where these players are from, showing that Jonathan Mensah's from Ghana, showing that Albert Elise is from San Pedro Sula in Honduras, a real gang-ravaged neighborhood. I want to start to show the good that they're doing while also really trying to dive into more of where they're from. Because you touch on that so little, but I think there's more of a story there that we can tell. But as you know, you can only fit so much into 5 minutes.
Yes,
so.
I know, which we are doing right now. But before we move on to our next little game, you also have a podcast with Susanna Collins with MLS, The Call Up. And I noticed when I worked with MLS, I found it very inclusive. I found it a good league that really sort of promoted women. What have you found that's different that makes MLS stand out amongst the rest?
I think you hit the nail on the head, because you know, every friend's group chat or whatever it is, you're like, we are so funny that, like, we should publish our group chat, or everyone thinks they should have their own reality show or anything like that. But really, once you bring it outside your scope, everyone's like, yeah, no, actually, like, you're not that funny, you're not that unique. But Suzanne and I, for years now, have been meeting up probably like once a week. We're really good friends, and the stuff that we unload in the course of an hour of a drink or two, we were like, fans would kill to hear half of this. Half we can't share, half we can share.
Right.
So we went to them, and we thought they were gonna be like, yeah, sure, of course you guys think you should have your own pod. And they were like, yeah, let's try it. And our bosses have been so supportive ever since, and for next year they wanna do more. So yeah, it's exactly that it's not just that we're women. They don't expect us to just talk to women or just do the female angles. We're two women who are talking about soccer. And yes, sometimes we talk about soccer here. But the men like that combo more than anybody.
And soccer fashion and like the culture around the sport as well. You mentioned at the start of the show that MLS Cup is going to be surprising.
Surprising and big.
And big. We've had 2 takes at the beginning of the show. Surprising is the one that kept. So maybe just elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, the surprising factor being that the two best teams, the big star teams, didn't make it, because it was a different format this year. You know, Julie, covering MLS for so long, the playoffs used to be 2-legged series. So you kind of got one game, then you try to figure each other out, and then the second game, usually the better team prevailed, because tactically and all those things, they figured it out. But it was single elimination, one and done, NCAA bracket style the whole way, and it was pretty spicy, like the whole way through. It was really fun. And then here we have Seattle, which we really shouldn't be that surprised, because they have the experience. And same with TFC. They have not been a team we pegged for the MLS final at all this year. But then again, both times, third time in 4 years. It's the same matchup 3 times in 4 years. So it's like, well, actually maybe experience kind of came through and knocked down the big LAFCs and the big Atlantas. Because they knew, like, this is the type of game we have to play over 90 minutes. And why I said big is it's sold out 69,000+ people in 20 minutes.
Wow, that's incredible.
So this will be the biggest soccer game in Seattle.
And that's
ever.
at CenturyLink Field, so we know where the Seahawks play there. So it will be an
Loud.
exciting atmosphere because soccer is all about Seattle.
Yeah.
And with that, we want to get on to a fun little game. What better way for us to make our MLS Cup predictions than by pitting iconic features of each city, Toronto and Seattle, against one another in our MLS edition of Who You Got?
This is like me versus you, so it's like US versus Canada.
Yes, this is like USA versus Canada, as
Pretty
Jillian
much.
just said. Okay, so our first matchup is who you got, Tim Hortons or Starbucks?
Starbucks.
Oh man, yuck. What are we thinking?
No, thank you, Tim Hortons.
Corporate Central. All right, well, let's see what we have in this matchup. So we got Seattle 1, CN Tower versus the Space Needle.
I'll go CN Tower.
Ah, yes.
Because when I went to the top of the Space Needle, I was a little disappointed.
And you will never be disappointed at the top of the CN Tower.
Sorry.
You can even walk on it in the edge walk.
Yeah,
Definitely
there's a little bit more
definitely
going
not
on up
doing
top.
that. Okay, so we're tied 1-1. Next matchup, poutine versus oysters.
Poutine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Poutine. You can't have drunk oyster food.
No.
No, that's just, I mean, you can, but it's probably not going to turn out well. Moving on. Okay, so Toronto's winning right now. We got 3-1. Blue Jays versus the Mariners.
Wah, wah. I would say neither, but are the Mets in there? I'll go Blue Jays.
Yeah, all right. Okay, yeah.
I like birds. Not a big fish fan.
Perfect. Yeah, I know. I also, it's 2-2. How is it 2-2? Well, okay, all right.
I think we have biased people.
I think that's fake news right now. Raptors versus Supersonics.
Supersonics.
Yeah, a team that doesn't exist. Great. Pretty sure the champs are the champs still, but whatever. All right, and we've got Drake versus Kurt Cobain.
Oh, Drake.
I know. That's an easy one.
That wasn't even fair.
That's an easy one. I mean, Drake's the king, right? So he's winning, still winning.
Drake.
And what would you rather have? Always snowing or always raining?
I guess snowing.
Yeah, same. I would also pick that too. I think raining is just more. It's annoying.
Suicidal, yeah.
Yeah, it's more suicidal. Yeah. It's snowing. It's fun. It's cute. It's
more
Christmas
upsetting.
and sweet. Glad we're on the same page here, picking a lot of Canadian things. And I think this is an easy one as well. Mike Myers versus Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Mike Myers.
Yeah, I know. Wow, Toronto's a heavyweight.
He's Canadian?
Matchup. Yes.
Oh, I was trying to get sides for the U.S.
Oh, no.
Canada won.
Wow.
I didn't even mean it, and Canada still won.
Toronto.
Darn.
Toronto/Canada won this matchup, so that's settled. That's how MLS Cup's going to end up. Toronto is going to win their second MLS Cup against Seattle. Thank you.
You know what? It's like 100%, I think, Seattle. But I'm happy Toronto won this game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you said 100% Seattle. Why do you think that?
You've been in the atmosphere, the Legion of Boom thing in the NFL. It's so real. It's so loud. And I just think that they have it figured out. And I think when you look at who's on the field, I think by far you have a better roster with the Seattle Sounders. It's not to be said TFC can't go in there and play the type of games we've seen them play the last few matches to get through, and credit to them. They, Greg Vanney, their manager, has it figured out. But also props to Brian Schmetzer.
I know.
Their manager, he comes in mid-season 3.5 years ago. They win it that year. Or they go to MLS Cup that year. They win it the following year. And no, they win it that year.
They won it that year.
Yes, the year he was halfway in. Yeah.
And
6 months in, they win it.
He was still the interim manager at that point, too.
Yep.
And then finally got
the rematch, then Toronto wins it, then they had a year off, and now they're back. So, to be in the way he's in and just come in and go to MLS Cup, I mean, he's got something figured out.
He does, and he is someone that we are going to talk about a little bit more when we have another fun MLS. We are full of MLS games here on the show, and we aren't nearly ready to call it a night with Jillian just yet. When we return, we'll put our casting hat on and see who gets a leading role in this upcoming film. Find out what I'm talking about next.
Hi, I'm Max Bredos, and I'm gonna call it a night with Julie Stewart-Binks to sweeten the pot.
Welcome back to Call It a Night, the sports show that likes to have fun. I'm Julie Stewart-Binks, and we've got Fox Sports reporter, and now you laughed at one of my jokes, Todd. Yeah. We got Fox Sports reporter and host Jillian Sakovits here with us today, and we thought, what better way to preview MLS Cup this weekend than with you helping us cast our blockbuster matchup. Okay, so let's begin with our question in what team is the underdog in this movie?
Toronto.
Ooh.
100%. Because they don't have perhaps the success that Seattle's had this year. Also, they've got Josie Altidore. Is he playing? Is he not playing? Michael Bradley's apparently playing for his multi-million-dollar contract next year. Like, apparently in his contract, this is all rumors. If he wins MLS Cup, he gets a multi-million-dollar
But if he
contract.
doesn't, he doesn't.
So it's kind of like the underdogs are coming in. Yeah, I don't know what happens. This is all like...
It's all on the line.
It's all on the line. Whereas Seattle, they're home. They've got nearly 70,000 people.
Very comfortable.
They got this guy like Jordan Morris, you know.
Oh, yes, and speaking of Jordan Morris, what actor plays the star of Seattle, Jordan Morris, and why?
So, according to MLS Studios, where we have a lot of people that know everything about movies, they went Zac Efron.
Okay, unique choice.
Cute, I thought.
For his singing and dancing abilities.
Yeah, I think it was more based on looks, like...
The hair, the abs.
The smile, maybe.
Okay. Kind of that, like, boy next door, good guy.
But maybe if Jordan watches this, he'll want to do, like, a musical.
High School Musical.
Yeah.
Seattle Sounders the Musical.
Maybe.
We come up with really great ideas on the show. All right, what actor plays the star of Toronto and why?
This one's really good. Michael Bradley, they said Aaron Paul, but Aaron Paul with less of the hair, like the more like crew cutty shaved head look. And then when I looked it up, it was really, really good. I'm admittedly a horrible movie person, like unless Kate Hudson.
Our researchers thought and producers thought you were a big movie buff, which is why we played this game here today.
In total fairness, someone asked me a lot about sports movies, like in an interview last year. And yeah, I answered them, but now... But now I went to MLS yesterday, and you got a lot of movie buffs, as we do in our
Oh,
biz.
yeah.
And they were huge with this, so I got to give them props.
Well, we're going to have a lot of fun with this because I think you also had Josie Altidore's Winston Duke from Black Panther and the Avengers.
Which was good.
Which is also...
If he plays.
If he plays, if he is in this movie. And I like this, Brian Schmetzer, who we mentioned,
That's really good.
who is the coach of Seattle, you believe is this actor.
Tom Hanks.
Yeah. Like Mr. Rogers Tom Hanks or like Forrest Gump Tom Hanks? Or both?
Tom Hanks also saves Wilson, right?
Wilson.
So maybe he's that Tom Hanks. We'll have to find out.
Castaway. Brian Schmetzer is a bit of a castaway, some might say. Yeah, but a lovable castaway. All right, what actor plays Greg Vanney, head coach of Toronto?
This one only because of his fashion lately, Ryan Reynolds.
Ah, okay.
Greg Vanney's kicked it up a notch this year.
Yes.
Like,
he dyed his hair, right?
That I don't know. But it's very voluminous, wavy, and a big Euro scarf.
And the scarf has, it's a bit of,
I think it's a good look scarf.
A good look
But I don't think he's calling it that. I think it's just part of his look.
It's part of the look. Is this a Van Wilder Ryan Reynolds or more of a Deadpool Ryan Reynolds? Or both?
Maybe Deadpool.
Yeah. Write that down. Okay, so what is the log line for this movie? What's it on the poster? What does it say?
I think you got to go final chapter.
Yes.
So I talked to Brad Evans, two-time MLS Cup champ, longtime Sounder.
Off the ground. There you go. Yeah.
Brad Evans. And he said, he's like, well, basically now each team's won once, so this will crown the best team in the world.
Yeah, this is the rubber match, right?
Yeah, which is the title of my movie.
Oh, I just ruined it. But
the rubber match.
The rubber match. It's the rubber match. And what's the big twist?
Okay. So, props to my producer Galena who came up with this one. Michael Bradley's. They win.
Okay. Wait. Who wins?
So Toronto wins. Michael Bradley gets his whatever, I don't know, $6.5 million.
Yeah.
But then he gets traded to Seattle.
Whoa. And as
Spicy.
you guys said, Bruce Willis is actually dead.
Yeah.
That is the movie I want to see. Thank you so much, Jillian, and MLS.
Thank you, MLS.
Employees at home tonight. Don't go anywhere. We've got plenty more to come on the show, including how we want you to call it a night. So stay tuned.
I'm Trey Wingo, and I had to call it a night, and I enjoyed it.
Welcome back. Before we call it a night, we want your thoughts in our new segment, Come At Us. What a delightful graphic. So we asked on social media, if the Jets were a movie, what would they be? And these were our best responses. From Blue City Radio, Titanic, but only if the ship sets sail year after year without ever changing course. Rose is a Super Bowl, and Jack is Joe Namath. Crew 74 said this to us, Groundhog Day, the misery never ends. It's a recurring theme of like awfulness that stays. So the question was, again, if the Jets were a movie, what would they be? And this is from my friend at ESPN, Anish Shroff. Men who stare at goats as they are staring at the Patriots. And Corey MC12 says Dumb and Dumber. So a lot of classics, a lot of great films there. Not so great for the Jets. And our next question for Come At Us is, with the Chargers and Raiders playing on Thursday, we had to ask, what's the name of this band and what's the title of the single from their latest album? Make sure you tweet your answers to @FuboSports using the hashtag #CallItANight. We'll put up the best ones on the next episode of the show, and you could be famous because our show is famous. Thank you, Jillian, for joining us here today.
I love what you're doing. I just really want to tell you.
Oh, thank you. You're the first guest to ever say that, so that means a lot.
It's at the end, too.
It's the end, and we have MLS Cup this weekend, and you are going to be there.
Yep, heading to Seattle tomorrow.
What's your beat? Like, what are you focusing on?
Things going on around town. So rumor has it, like the fish toss, you know, find some crazy Seattle fans, won't be too difficult.
The oysters, the Space Needle.
Yeah.
Kurt Cobain.
All the
Always
things
raining.
that we really
They
were
just
looking
prepped you
forward to
for the most
in
part there.
Seattle. Bring my rain boots and the game.
Okay, fun. And before we go, we got to get an official MLS prediction. What's I know you said Seattle's going to win, but what's the final score?
3-1.
3-1.
Seattle.
Okay, well, it should be interesting then, in the very least. And perhaps Michael Bradley and TFC might actually cause the upset and trigger the $6.5 million in his contract, allegedly.
Reported millions.
Yes, millions. All right, thank you so much for joining us here today. Make sure you join us, same place, same time on Thursday, when we welcome comedian and longtime suffering New York sports fan, Chris DiStefano, to the couch. But until then, we're going to have to call it a night. Make sure that you follow us on Fubo Sports, me @JSB_TV. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can watch this whole show all over again on Fubo Sports on YouTube. And until then, we are going to have to call it a night. And we hope you guys have a great night. You know, whatever you guys happen to be doing tonight, make it a great one.